Hey guys, what's up? My name is Luke Vassie, and today I'm going to be showing you how to assemble the entry-level stabilizer. So for starters, when you're assembling this stabilizer, make sure that you are using the white labeled Canons, as well as using the stock 18 to 55mm lenses. We have our base here, which we can just open up and put down on a flat surface for us to start assembling. And we have our handle here, which is going to hold the two batteries. Now, I'm just going to screw this on here real quick. When you're putting the two batteries in, make sure that we do have the arrow side facing up on both of these bad guys. So we can just put them in like that. And now we're going to put on the top piece. So it just screws on nice and easily onto the handle. All right, now that your stabilizer is all set up and built there, we're gonna get into balancing our camera on it. So we've got our white label camera here with our 18 to 55 stock kit lens. We're gonna make sure to pop off this lens cap because we shouldn't be having anything on the stabilizer that we don't want to balance for. So this can actually add some weight to the front of your camera, make it a little heavier, so when it's time to shoot, it's not gonna be perfectly balanced. So we're gonna start by unscrewing this 1/4" screw, which is gonna help us hold our camera in the plate. So you can just give it a couple screws on there, and I'm just gonna push it nice and snug up against this motor right here. And now we have our basic setup. Now we can see that this camera isn't really holding any positions right now and it's just sort of wiggling around there. It's not balanced. And so in order to work a stabilizer properly, we need to balance it. Every single one of these points has a motor. So we're gonna start with step 1. This is the horizontal axis right here. And we're just going to adjust it. So you just unscrew it, push it around a little bit there. See, it's a little bit too far to the right, so it's gonna be leading right there. So all you gotta do is push it back in. Now it's a little bit too much left, just until we find the center point right there. So just gonna screw that in nice and tight, just finger tight. And now we're gonna move on to our next step. On step number 2, we got our tilt. Now the tilt is sort of broken down into 2 steps of this process, but it's nice and simple, just a little latch right here that we can unscrew. And it's gonna make our camera slide, I guess, back and forth, up and down in a sense. And we can do this now because it's going to make up for the weight of the lens. So we slide it nice and forward there, and it's actually holding pretty nicely. So we're going to screw this piece in a little harder. There we go, just so it holds nicely. Now, step 3 also has to do with the tilt of the camera and the lens. It's right here, and you can see whenever you point it up or down, this camera right here is falling backwards. So this means that we have to unscrew number 3 right here, and we're now gonna be sliding up and down there again. And we're just gonna bring this back a little bit up until it holds at the top bit there. Now we can screw it to be finger tight right there. And if it faces up, it shouldn't move really. And if it faces down, it should be the same thing right there, just like that. So now any position vertically that you put it in, or tilt, it shouldn't really move at all. Now, sometimes when you are balancing your stabilizer, you'll notice that in making certain adjustments, your camera is going to be moving on the previous axis that you've worked on. This is totally normal. All you gotta do is you just gotta go back and readjust them. And the best way to check if your stabilizer is balanced, you just wanna go ahead and put it in almost any position and it should hold it. Now these guys have a little less sophistication to them, so sometimes you'll see them slide out, but typically, if they remain relatively still in these positions, you are good to go. So when you're ready to turn on your stabilizer, you just gotta press and hold that power button and it should come right on like this. All right guys, you've now successfully assembled, balanced, and prepped your stabilizer for usage. Go have fun or continue on to the next video to see some functions that we have on this stabilizer.